The story of Geoffrey Manchester hiding out at Toys R Us is such a fascinating one, absolutely ripe for cinematic portrayal. A filmmaker could find both the comedic and serious sides of this story, and Derek Cianfrance does exactly that with Roofman, mixing the absurdity of the situation with Geoffrey's determination to get to the next day and live a happy life. Cianfrance has largely made a name for himself directing heart-wrenching dramas, so in one way, this comedic caper represents a significant departure for him. However, his interest in the difficulty in relationships remains, and it adds to the compelling narrative presented here. A lot of the film is carried by Channing Tatum, who does make Geoffrey into a likable and sympathetic person, even as he does these criminal activities. We see his smarts, and how he constantly tries to solve his dilemmas without hurting anyone, although there are some occasional mistakes. There's fun in seeing him figure out the best strategy to escape the authorities, while some of the funniest moments typically involve his confrontations with store managers and employees. Even with the comedic aspects, there remains a tension throughout of when he will be caught and how he'll attempt to evade those situations. The movie also makes good use of the setting like the Toys R Us Geoffrey hides in. The film cleverly shows the different ways someone hiding in a place like that would occupy their time. It's a delight watching him use his know-how to see what the employees are up to and planning out his day that will both help him and not inconvenience them just trying to make a living too. There's also humor in the way Roofman uses news reports to capture how Geoffrey's actions are being depicted in the media. The romantic storyline involving Geoffrey and Kirsten Dunst Lee is nicely portrayed, showing why his charm works on her, and there is a hope of this relationship working out. This drives a lot of the second half of the movie, but it works in showing Geoffrey's desire to continue to have a family. We see he's not a bad person, but merely takes the criminal way out, and it's clear Cianfrance has the same sympathy for him. Meanwhile, Peter Dinklage finds the appropriate comedic angle of his manager as well, as he tries to figure out where the missing inventory is. Everyone involved seems to understand the breezy tone of the script, but Tatum and Dunst do display some emotional depth when needed. It's fascinating reading up on the real Geoffrey afterwards and finding out that Roofman stays fairly close to what actually happened. Any embellishments depicted work in adding to the delight of the narrative and seeing how Geoffrey's intelligence can come in handy or put him in danger. Derek Cianfrance finds this lighter side to him that we've maybe not seen before and recognizes the required tone for the story. Curiously, the most fitting comparison one can make would be to Steven Spielberg's The Terminal, which also centered on someone occupying the time and the location while forming an attachment to someone. It would certainly make for a neat pairing with this film, which even harkens back to the early 2000s in a way that naturally works. Roofman is a highly entertaining and even quite touching film that works as comedy, caper, and romance.